Did you know that right now there's a brand new SUV in America that's selling less than 1 unit a day? And did you also know that 4 of the 10 SUVs nobody wants right now all wear the same famous badge? Right now, brand new SUVs are stacking up on dealer lots from coast to coast, some with 6 months of inventory, some with more than a year. And the numbers come straight from CarEdge's Market Day supply data, updated in August 2026. The idea is simple. How many days would it take dealers to sell every SUV sitting on their lots at today's pace? Healthy is around 60 days. Everything on this list is way past 170. I'm Jason. I've spent most of my life around cars, and I've spent this week inside the freshest market data in America, so you don't have to. No sponsors, no kickbacks. Nobody's paying me a cent. 10 brand new SUVs nobody wants, ranked from slow selling all the way up to the single most unwanted vehicle in the country. And keep count of those badges, because by the end, the pattern is going to shock you. 10. Jeep Compass, 172 days of supply. That's where this list starts. Almost 6 months of unsold Compasses waiting on lots. And that's badge number 1 for your count. Starting around $29,000, the Compass is the cheapest SUV here. And if you've followed this channel, you already know why buyers hesitate. The Compass made my list of the car's mechanics are begging buyers to avoid. A 9-speed transmission with a decade of documented complaints, oil consumption, electrical gremlins. Well, it looks like America was listening. Over 4,000 still sold in the last 45 days, the biggest volume on this list actually. But the inventory mountain behind them keeps growing faster than they move. And badge number 2 arrives immediately, because Jeep just brought a legend back from the dead, and it's already gathering dust. 9. Jeep Cherokee, 177 days of supply. The Cherokee name just came back from the grave. Jeep relaunched it in late 2025 as the brand's first standard hybrid, filling the gap in the lineup after years of absence. 37 miles per gallon, all-wheel drive standard, a fresh boxy design. So why is a brand new model already sitting on 6 months of inventory? One word: price. At $36,195 to start, the Cherokee costs several $1,000s more than almost every hybrid rival, and a Toyota RAV4 hybrid with all-wheel drive undercuts it by a couple grand while wearing the most trusted badge in the segment. And when a resurrected legend piles up on lots within months of its comeback, that's not a product problem. That's a pricing problem the market is correcting in real time. But a struggling newcomer is just business. The next SUV blows past 200 days of supply. And the sad part? This one's a different kind of pain, because it's the icon itself. 8. Jeep Wrangler 2-door, 202 days of supply. And this is the one that genuinely hurts, badge number 3. Starting around $34,000, the 2-door Wrangler is the original, the direct descendant of the vehicle that helped win a world war, the silhouette on 1,000 posters, and America moved on. Families want 4 doors, space for car seats, room for the dog, and the 4-door version took over the entire market. The 2-door became the poster car everyone loves and almost nobody actually buys. Fewer than 1,600 sold nationwide in 45 days. The most famous SUV shape in the world, sitting still for more than half a year. Now, step away from the 7-slot grills for a moment, because the next SUV's problem isn't its badge, it's its birthplace. 7. Buick Envision, 220 days of supply, more than 7 months. And at around $37,500, the Envision looks like a safe, quiet choice. A comfortable, compact luxury SUV at a reasonable price. But it carries a detail most buyers never learn. It's built in China. The only Buick in the US lineup, that is. And in 2026, that's not a trivia fact. It's a business problem. In the tariff era, a China-built SUV is exactly the kind of product caught in the crossfire, and the inventory numbers show it. But credit where it's due. Over 2,000 sold in the last 45 days, more than most of this list. The Envision's problem isn't that nobody likes it, it's that the math around it keeps getting harder. For Buick and for buyers. And from an American badge built in China, we move to a British badge lost inside its own showroom. 6. Land Rover Discovery, 233 days of supply. Starting around $62,000, the Discovery is Land Rover's 3-row family SUV, and its biggest enemy wears the same badge. On one side of the showroom sits the Defender, the cool one. On the other, the Range Rover family, the prestigious one. And the Discovery sits in the middle, invisible. The numbers say it all. 184 sold nationwide in 45 days. And for buyers doing their homework, there's a second hesitation. Land Rover sits third from the bottom of the entire 2026 J.D. Power Dependability Study. 62 grand is a lot of trust to hand a bottom 3 brand. Halfway there, and every SUV from here on has at least 8 months of inventory waiting. While we're at it, help me out. Hit the like button and subscribe. Every single one pushes this video to more people who need this info. On to the top 5, this is where it gets serious. 5. Jeep Grand Wagoneer, 239 days of supply. And badge number 4, yes, it's another Jeep. The Grand Wagoneer, starting past $91,000 with loaded examples crossing $115,000, is the most expensive SUV on this entire list. And both versions made the rankings. The standard at 239 days, the stretched Grand Wagoneer L right behind it at 227. And regular viewers saw this coming. The Grand Wagoneer was my number 1 pick in the luxury SUV video. The flagship that cost one documented owner $4 of value for every single mile he drove, shedding nearly 53% of its worth in just 2 years. And America answered with its wallet. Jeep's $100,000 dream now needs the better part of 8 months to clear its own inventory. So, that's the full Jeep count, 4. Hold that thought for the end of this video, because money isn't what freezes a dealer lot. The next SUV costs less than half of this one, and sells even worse. 4. Mitsubishi Outlander Plug-in Hybrid. 256 days of supply, and just 74 sold in 45 days nationwide. Starting around $43,000, this is the plug-in hybrid version of the Outlander, the type with a big battery you charge at home, running short trips on electricity with a gas engine for the rest. And the math explains the freeze. 43 grand is Toyota RAV4 Prime money, without Toyota's reliability reputation behind it. In a segment where the badge carries half the purchase decision, Mitsubishi's simply doesn't carry enough anymore. But remember this SUV, its shape, its price, its plug-in system, because it comes back at number 1 in a way you won't believe. First, though, the answer to the question from the very start of this video. 3. Maserati Grisali. Here's your answer. The Maserati is selling less than 1 unit a day in all of the United States. The Grisali, at around $78,000, moved exactly 44 examples in 45 days, every Maserati dealership combined. And there are 293 of them sitting on lots right now. 300 days of supply, 10 full months. So why does nobody buy it? Start with the price. 78 grand puts the Grisali head-to-head with the Porsche Macan and the best compact SUVs from BMW and Mercedes, badges with stronger reputations and far stronger resale values. And then, look underneath, the Grisali shares its bones with the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, because both brands live under the same corporate roof, Stellantis, and paying nearly double for shared hardware is a very hard sell. And then there's the fear factor. Maserati's American sales have collapsed to historic lows, resale values are in freefall, and buyers quietly worry about the dealer network, the parts supply, and the brand's very future. Nobody wants to spend 80 grand on a question mark. But flip those numbers around, and this becomes the opportunity of the list. 293 brand new Maseratis that dealers are desperate to move isn't a tragedy. It's leverage. If you've ever dreamed of the Trident on your hood, this is the moment to walk in with these numbers and name your price. And from a brand nobody's buying, we moved to a brand that bet everything on volume and got a full year of leftovers instead. 2. Volkswagen ID4, 374 days of supply. That's more than a full year of inventory, gathering dust. At around $46,000, the ID4 was Volkswagen's big electric bet for America, the everyday EV for everyday families. And the reasons for the freeze stack up fast. The federal tax credit is gone. The used market is flooded with barely driven EVs at half the price. And the badge on the nose just finished dead last for dependability in America? If you saw my worst cars video, you know Volkswagen's ranking story by heart. 129 sold nationwide in 45 days. For what was supposed to be a volume seller, that's not a slowdown. That's a full stop. One SUV left, and it wears one of the best-selling names in America, which makes what's happening to it almost impossible to believe. 1. Nissan Rogue Plug-in Hybrid. And here it is, the most unwanted vehicle in the United States of America. Not just the most unwanted SUV, the most unwanted vehicle, period. The Nissan Rogue plug-in hybrid. The numbers are historic: 443 days of market supply, 1940 units parked on dealer lots, 197 sold nationwide in 45 days, while the regular gas Rogue remains one of the best-selling SUVs in the entire country. Same famous name, at around $44,000. Two opposite destinies, and here's the twist regular viewers already know: this isn't really a Rogue at all. Under the skin, it's a rebadged version of the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, the exact SUV you heard at number 4. Nissan borrowed it from its alliance partner, added a Rogue badge and a higher price, and America rejected it twice. I broke down that full story in my video on the cars nobody wants, but the short version is brutal. Same vehicle, 2 badges, both frozen solid. A best-selling name carrying the worst-selling car. 14 months of inventory, and a twin at number 4 proving it wasn't bad luck. It was the product. That's how you become the most unwanted vehicle in America. And now, the pattern. Because if you were counting, you saw it build. Compass, Cherokee, Wrangler, Grand Wagoneer. 4 of the 10 SUVs nobody wants wear the same 7-slot grille. And add the Maserati Grecale, because Maserati and Jeep share the same parent company. And half of this entire list comes from one single corporation, Stellantis. That's not bad luck. That's a company-wide crisis, written in inventory numbers on a free public webpage. But here's the honest part. Most videos skip, and it matters. An SUV on this list is not automatically a bad SUV. Some are genuinely solid vehicles that are overpriced, mistimed, or just invisible. And months of unsold inventory translate into one thing for you: negotiating power. If one of these actually fits your life, walk in knowing the numbers and never, ever pay sticker. Now it's your turn. Would you take any of these 10 at a serious discount? Did the Jeep count catch you off guard? And which SUV surprised you most on this list? Drop it in the comments. And if this video armed you before your next trip to a dealership, hit the like button and subscribe. Every single one pushes this video to more buyers who need it. And if you're not just interested in SUVs, but in ordinary cars too, you should also check out this video of mine, the 10 brand new cars nobody wants.